Hello and welcome to the MStar training session for defining the exam schedule period for an examination for a session. In this screen, you will be able to define the start date and end date of the examination. The screen also has functionalities to define the seating plan, date sheet, invigilator list, etc. So let us see the steps first to define the scheduled period of the examination. Click on the button MStar and select Module Examination. The name of the module appears on the main screen, which means that you are now working in the exam module. Click on the button Activities and select Screen Exam Scheduling. As the screen opens, select the academic year. Select session for which the exam scheduling needs to be done. Then click on the box next to the exam description and you will see the list of all the examinations made for the selected session. These will show us the list of all the exams which are created for all the classes of the selected session. But scheduling will be applicable to the exam and the class section for which it is defined. So, select the name of the exam for which the exam scheduling needs to be done, and after that, click on the box next to the max sitting per day and enter the maximum sitting per day. This means that the maximum number of exam sittings that can happen in one day. By default, since mostly one exam happens for a session, so we can enter 1 as max sitting per day. You can enter maximum 2 characters in this field and only numbers can be entered. In case more than 1 is entered in this field, multiple sitting numbers would appear for a single day, indicating that in a day, multiple exam sittings are being conducted. In the next field date from, enter the start date of the exam schedule. This has to be entered in a date format, which is date, month and year. In the next field date to, enter the end date of the exam. This again has to be entered in the date format. After this, click in the section Sitting Details and you will see that in the grid Sitting Details, the dates gets added automatically by the system. So for each day, based on the number of subjects that are applicable for the exam for the classes, 1 day exam sitting is shown. Let us see various columns in this section. Serial number. Date is the exam schedule based on the date from and date to entered. Since the number of sitting has been entered as 1 in this case, so it has given single day for each subject. Sitting number is for the date. On this particular date, there is only 1 sitting of the examination. The time from and time to columns are generated automatically in continuous for each sitting of the day by taking into account the start time of the session with duration of each sitting as 1 hour. So these are the default timings taken by the application. If the schedule is OK, then click on the Save button available next to the Sitting Details grid. The data saving confirmation message is received. This step saves the exam schedule period. Click OK on the confirmation message. Again, let us clear the screen and check the exam schedule that we just saved. Select the academic year, select session and then select the exam name for which we entered the exam schedule. As you do that, the button Existing Exam Date gets enabled because we have already saved sitting details for the selected exam. Click on the button Existing Exam Date and a new window showing us the exam date from and date to as entered appears. double click on the row of the examination and the dates of the sitting details appears in the grid sitting details as last saved. So this is how we can create the exam schedule for a specific exam for the session. Now let us see another example where the sitting details date does not get accommodated within the date range that we have entered. Let us clear the screen. Select the academic year, select a session and an exam. In this case, we will enter the sitting detail as 1, date from as required, date 2 as required, since the max sitting per day is entered as 1, which means that for each subject it has allocated 1 day within the date range. In this case, that is, in the case of the date range that we have just entered, the application is not able to accommodate the complete exam, that is, all the subjects pertaining to that exam. And the same message is being shown to us. Click on the button OK, and now we see that the application has allocated automatically the days based on the subjects applicable for the classes. So in this case, we had entered date 2 as 10th March 2016, whereas the application has given the last date as 12th March 2016. But since we want the schedule period as per our requirement, so we can change these details and update the sitting details also. Let us see the steps for the same. Click on the row which is the extra date, it gets highlighted, and click on the delete button available next to the sitting details grid. It says, are you sure you want to delete the data? Since we want to delete the extra date row, click on button yes, and the row selected is marked for deletion. Now click on the button save, and the data saving confirmation message is received. Again, select the examination, click on the existing exam dates button and double click on the row of the exam to see its sitting details. As we see, the date that we just deleted has got removed from the grid, but we want the date to be as 10th March. So let us delete the last date also. Click on the row and click on the delete button. Click OK on the confirmation message, and before you click on the save button, change the date to the last date. And click on save button. It will ask you to refresh the sitting details grid, but since we do not want to refresh the sitting details because we have marked a row for deletion, click no on this message and then click on save button again, and it has now saved the data. Click OK on the confirmation message, and you will see that the last date that we deleted is also deleted, while the date 2 is also saved as the date that we required. Let us again select the exam name. Now as you click on the exam name, the message again to refresh the sitting details will come. Since we do not want to refresh the sitting details and change the settings that we have just saved, we click on no on this and select the exam name again. Select the existing dates by clicking on the button existing dates and select the date of the examination, and we now see that the dates are as per the requirement. In case you do not want an additional date inside within the date range also, click on the row and click on the delete button. Click yes on the confirmation of deletion message and click on save button. So we have marked 4th March for deletion. So let us again go back and check after the data saving confirmation message. Now we see that 4th March has been removed from the date range as well. This is how you can delete a date from the date range of exam schedule. So this was an example that we discussed in case the dates goes beyond the date range that we want. Let us see another example where the date range that it accommodates is less than the last date that we require. So click on the clear button and let us now again select another examination to see this example. Select the academic year, select session and select an examination for which we want to do the scheduling. Enter the maximum sittings per day, enter date from and enter the last date of the exam schedule. After this, click in the grid sitting details and you will see that we had entered the date as 30th/1/2016, whereas it has taken the last date as 23/1/2016. But since the exam schedule up to 30th January, we have to add another date. For this, click on the Add button next to the sitting details grid. In case it asks to refresh the sitting details, click on No and click on the Add button again. As you click on the Add button, a new row gets added in the grid sitting details. Enter the date as required. Enter the sitting number for the date. Enter time from. Click after the timing and enter A or P for AM or PM. Then in the time to column, enter the time to and enter A for AM and P for PM. As you add the last row as the last date in the grid, you will also notice that the date 2 has automatically appeared in the date 2 field. Since this is the date we want our exam schedule to get over, click on the Save button, and since we have changed the sitting details, it will ask whether we want to refresh the sitting details in the grid. Since we do not want to again change our settings, click No for refreshing the sitting details and click on the Save button next to the grid to save the schedule period. Click OK on the confirmation message. And now let us go back, clear the screen and recheck our date. Selecting the academic year, selecting the session and selecting the exam for which we just saved the exam schedule. Click on the existing exam date button and double click on the exam description. And now you will see that the date 2 is showing as the correct date and the row that we added for the last date is also showing as entered. So follow these steps as required to update the exam scheduling dates. The saving of the exam schedule period, like we have just shown, is a mandatory requirement for starting the result entry, and only after the exam schedule period is defined for an exam, it will get available for data entry of result. Click on the clear button to clear the screen and repeat these steps for other exams and sessions. Please ensure that before you start creating the exam scheduling for an exam, you check whether there is an existing exam date available for that exam so that you do not end up creating multiple schedules for single exam. Also, ensure that while the exam schedules are being made for various exams, the exam schedules are not overlapping for various exams of a session. For example, If for session middle FA1 and FA2 are two exams applicable, then the scheduling dates of FA1 and FA2 should not overlap and or should not have common dates. Thank you for watching this video.